Hi, welcome to the Market Alert for Monday, the 19th of December 2016. So, Friday, what a boring day. Did warn of it with the quadruple witching which took place in this area. This is where it all closed, the December options, stock future options, futures contracts, and the futures contracts on the individual companies within the Dow. And this led the market to being sideways, 23-point loss on the first one, and very frustrating the second one. You can see the market just coming up to the stop there before actually moving in the direction that it should have done. So that's why I sent out a note to say the market's not doing anything. It's going to trade sideways. It did move down a bit lower, but you can see then the evening session was just awful. It was just sideways. So again, the right call to stand aside after the quadruple witching there. Another day, not a problem. It's been a good run up to Friday, where we had the two consecutive losses, so not too much of a problem, but it's a bit frustrating when you see that happen. Again, you can see why. We're heading into Christmas this week as well. So we've got a situation here where the market's sideways. The ranges are getting narrower, but I still believe we're on for the 20,000 before we get to the end of the week. You can see how they're moving the prices back up again on the overnight. To be very surprised if we don't do the 20,000 either before Christmas or in between Christmas and the New Year, before we get the full-blown effects of Yellen's rate increase, and then as we head towards Trump's inauguration in January. And the more I think about this, the more that Trump is going to be used as the fall guy and an excuse. Yellen and he don't see eye to eye. There's no love lost between them, and 50% or whatever the percentage was, I don't know what it is, but voted for Trump. So Yellen and co aren't really going to care whether about increasing rates anymore. She's no allegiance to embalmer from the 19th of January. So the gloves are off, as it were. So, if the voters want to suffer, then they could make it pretty grim by continuing to increase interest rates, which are not being increased enough, by the way, because the bond yields continue to rise as well. So a very interesting picture emerging going forwards. On the news front today, we've just got the German IFO business climate, which is released at 9 a.m. So nothing for this afternoon. So the market's got to make its direction again. I don't know what it's going to do. The only clue we're going to get is in the pre-market session. If it's sideways, then that's going to continue through this afternoon's session and evening session as well. We'll take a view when the market opens. But if it trades sideways for 4 or 5 bars, like it did on Friday, then expect the market to continue that. Although, if you've noticed, there is a bit of a pattern emerging here where we've got prices trading sideways for the first hour, then breaking out. Just go back and have a look at Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday as well. It did start to move down after the market had traded sideways. So an interesting picture. Let's see if that's repeated again today. So you get nothing from the off where we used to, and then nothing, seems like, after the first hour, which is very strange indeed. Implied volatility is good though, down to 1020, heading towards the 10% area. And again, well worth noting that we had the same thing this time last year, and then the wheels came off the market between Christmas and New Year as well. Again, same pattern, rate increase. Anything that's different this year is that we've had a US election, and the person that's in nobody appears to like in the media or in government, etc. Then you wouldn't expect them to, would you? So it's going to be very interesting, what with the fake news of Russia having infiltrated and swayed the election. I mean, I've never heard such nonsense in all my life. And as Obama said, the evidence suggests. He didn't say it confirms, he said it suggests. And if we're getting into semantics, that's a completely different statement and word as saying, yes, we have 100% proof. I mean, it's absolute, utter nonsense. If Clinton was in, it wouldn't even be discussed. It's just this sore loser thing that seems to be prevalent at the moment with the left. I don't know what it is. I'm just glad and relieved I'm apolitical, because as Mike Maloney said in Greg Hunter's video on Friday, what matters is economics. It doesn't matter who you vote for politically, it's what happens economically, is what impacts individuals. And voting for some of these politicians isn't going to make one diddly squat, because at the end of the day, as I've proven many times, whether it's the manipulation of the silver market, stock markets, or whatever it is, that's what's important, is who's actually manipulating what, with what, and to whom. And it's not rocket science. The banks are in charge. That's why politicians end up working for banks. That's why Clinton had Goldman Sachs on board. And Trump, he said he was going to drain the swamp, and he's got the same people. He's got the Goldman people. It doesn't make any difference. You soon get leaned on when you take up office. You may have all of these wild claims and proposals, but once you get in there, you get a visit from the bankers, and that's it, job done. And you then acquiesce and do what the masters want, and that's it, simple as that. It's not a conspiracy theory. Go back and look at everybody that's ever been in power, where they end up after. I've said it before in the Market Alert, and I'll continue to say it, because that's exactly what happens, and there's no argument what happens, because it does. Anyway, enough of that. That's it really. I'll report in later, see what the market does in the first half an hour or so, and then let you know. But I think you've got used to the idea that the first half an hour or so really does sort of determine what's going to happen for the rest of the session. Who knows, there may be something coming out of the blue that will move the market just to that 20,000 level that they are very much interested in actually hitting. But again, time will tell. Right, that's it. Thanks for your support, also for watching, and I shall see you in the next one.